I've got some sort of a Conan O'Brien thing going on with my hair today. I am loving it. Anyway, guys, how you guys doing? Welcome to Join Me. This is a show where we go back and we look at shows that I watched growing up and I see if they age well or not. Today is going to be the special episode because it's the very first live action show I ever watched. It is Pee-wee's Playhouse. And I remember this show sort of after it ended because I guess I couldn't comprehend live action back in the day very much. So I started watching the show in the regular Saturday morning lineup on CBS back in 1991. And this was a few months prior to before its cancellation. So I was able to remember at least a couple things about the show, and unfortunately the show did get canceled. But after it did, luckily enough, there was Blockbusters, which carried the show when it was first released on VHS from High Top Videos. And around that time, that was when I got to see more of the show, because it went away from TV. So this took a little while for me to figure out like what show I would want to watch and react to. But to be honest, I watch this show periodically every year. This show never goes away from me. I love this show, but due to the fact that I want to go back and watch every show that I grew up watching, I'm just going to put this on the list. I'm picking, even though it wasn't the season that I grew up watching, because, let's see, back in 91, I watched seasons 4 and 5, and they were significantly different from the rest of the series. Especially me as I grew up older, I enjoyed season 1 because of its... I learned the background knowledge of how difficult it was to put the show together. Everyone worked in real difficult conditions, but you can tell that there's a passion and there's like a force to like, we want to get the show done and get it out there. So I love season 1 for its really extremely rough quality. So we're going to watch a season 1 episode called Now You See Me, Now You Don't. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Pee-wee's Playhouse. I just love the claymation opening. It's great. I'm also going to be working on a behind-the-scenes video of my speculations of Pee-wee's Playhouse, being that I think Rainy Day was the original test pilot episode. But it's going to take a while to get that thing up and running. Clip hunting and editing is kind of rough right now. And I didn't know this, but in recent years, pieces of this Playhouse set have been sold and auctioned. I think through a Hollywood auction house. But it was amazing to see the actual scale. If you buy the Pee-wee's Playhouse Blu-ray or the DVDs that came out from Shout Factory, there's an interesting background story on how the Playhouse was made and everything. And it's kind of a project that I want to work on when I have some time. But it's really tough to find time to do projects nowadays. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. I like Pee-wee so much that I cosplayed as Pee-wee back in 2012 and 2014. I wanna bring him back again because I loved being Pee-wee, and everyone at the convention was really excited to see Pee-wee, and it was just great. I even met one of my friends as Pee-wee, and me and her are still friends nowadays. Hi, Kate, if you're watching this. Especially my friend Amy, if you're watching this. She loves my Pee-wee as well. Such a good show.
I love my toys. Let's see what they're doing right now.
Also, not to promote myself again either, but if you go back and watch an episode of my channel, I made an episode of Pee-wee's Playhouse promoting myself before I was going to AWA. So if you want to watch it, feel free to.
Hi, Jerry.
Good morning, Pee-wee. Look what I brought for you.
Oh,
Wow! Big piece of foil!
thanks.
It was wrapped around the baked potato.
Where'd you get the baked potato?
At the restaurant, of course.
Hey, listen, girls.
Let's see how big my foil ball is today.
Even as a kid, I tried to make my own foil ball as well.
Wanna play with your
Toy, huh?
Unfortunately, not as big, but you know, I collected it for a few years.
Mr. Window, think fast!
Good throw, Pee-wee. It's going really far. That should keep him busy for a while.
Yeah!
Hey, Pee-wee. What's today's secret word?
I don't know. Let's ask Conky.
Okay.
Ready to assist you, Pee-wee.
Morning, Conky. What's today's secret word?
Today's secret word is little.
Now, you all remember what to do whenever anybody says a secret word, right?
Scream!
Right.
For the rest of the day, anybody says a secret word,
Scream me along. Ready?
let's try it. Hey, Mr. Window.
What's the opposite of big?
Small?
No.
Tiny?
No.
Teeny?
Nope.
Itsy bitsy?
No.
Petite?
No.
Minuscule?
No.
Dinky?
No.
Then what is it, Pee-wee?
Little!
Hey, it's snack time.
Today, we're gonna do something that you
You can do it home. First, stroll over to your salad bar.
I love this part. There's so many good jokes here. I use it sometimes in my daily speaking as well. When he starts putting the salad together, it's just comedy. And I've always loved the food in the refrigerator. It's great. Broadcast Arts did such a great job with the claymation in this season. Unfortunately, Paul Rubens and Broadcast Arts just parted ways after this season was over due to some legal troubles. But it's all right. He moved the show from New York to Los Angeles in future seasons. But that's why this season sticks out for me, because it just looks like people hanging out and doing a show together. It's not perfect, and it's just so rough. I just love it. It just, I don't know. It just feels like it has a lot of soul and a lot of heart. Nothing to crap on the other seasons, but the other seasons just look so professionally done. This one's like, I don't know. It's really tough to explain, but I kind of like the amateurness of it, and that's kind of what that's kind of like what brings me to do these videos too, because they're not perfect, and some of them they're okay or not, but I just like the passion that shows through it. That's all. It doesn't have to be crisp or new. I used to live on this thing where it's like It doesn't matter how shiny things look. It just matters about the entertainment.
Hey, Pee-wee, here comes Rita the mail lady.
Never mind. I have a package for you. It's special delivery. I'm gonna need your signature. Okay? Okay. Right here. And right here. And right here. And here. And here. And now just sign right here. And here. Right here. And here you go. Thank you. You're welcome. You know, magic takes a lot of practice. I'm just a furniture talking. Announcing the king of cartoons.
Let the cartoon begin.
The very first King of Cartoons is great too. His name is Gilbert Lewis, and tragically he's passed away. But he was great. I liked the first King of Cartoons. The second one was really great too as well. But the first one, he was he was taking a cab to the Playhouse, and he kept on being very forgetful at times, very uncomfortable, and he was just awkward is all. And the second one, the new one was really more sophisticated and did Shakespeare and everything. So I that's another thing of the first season I enjoy. It was just very just. It had an awkward tone to it, and it was really infectious. I loved it. But yeah, I'll always like the first King of Cartoons. And I don't know if I'm right or not, but I think this is probably the very first tryout of Mickey Mouse, I guess. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I know it was Foxy, but very close though. I don't have to tell you who that is. But Morpheus was a cowboy once. Magic, chicken baby. Magic.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
And Tito, the lifeguard.
machines and, well, everyone else, big and little. Prepare to be stupid. Prepare to be stupefied. For the first time anywhere, presenting the amazing Pee-wee.
I have to be honest too. Since I grew up watching seasons 4 and 5, Globey looked very different. When they would rerun a season 1 episode, I was scared of Globey. Globey just looked really freaky for me. I couldn't even look at the TV. So I was scared of the original Globey. Just letting you guys know that. That had to be one of the best looking chocolate cakes I've ever seen on TV.
Chocolate. Knock, knock. Knucklehead. Knock, knock. Who's there? Who's there? Pee-wee. Pee-wee who? Pee-wee Herman, the Invisible Man. Who? Ah! Pee-wee is certainly having fun being invisible, huh, Randy?
Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for the guy.
What do you mean?
It's awfully hard to get noticed when you're invisible. Think about this. He can't have his picture taken. He can't even answer the picture phone. And what if he can't come back?
What do you mean?
What if he stays invisible forever? I heard that, Randy, and I'm not going to be invisible forever.
I can make myself visible whenever I want to.
Oh, yeah? Prove it.
was like a month.
Hello, my name is Penny. Well, my favorite meal was on my birthday, and I had a gigantic lobster. I just dove right into it and ate and ate and ate. My friend Annie, she said that she had 9 cockatoos, 3 blue jays, and 2 guinea pigs, three gerbils, and
The editing was so great on these Penny cartoons.
something else that I forgot.
Just think about taking like any little girl's conversation and just chopping it up and making it sound like into the most craziest thing you've ever heard. The editing was really great on those Penny cartoons.
According to my calculations, Pee-wee, you're gonna be invisible forever. Forever.
Who's that crying outside my box?
It's me.
Oh, the amazing Pee-wee. Are you still invisible?
Yes.
And I suppose you want me to make you visible.
Yes.
I don't know if I can.
But you're Johnny.
It's not a good idea to mix magics, Pee-wee. It could be dangerous.
Willing to take the risk.
Be your ear! We want to see Pee-wee reappear! Okay, this is going to be difficult. I'm going to need all the boys and girls at home to
You guys too.
Now repeat after me, as loud as you can. Mecca-lecca-hi, mecca-hiney-ho.
Mecca-lecca-hi, make a hiney ho.
Mecca-lecca-hi, mecca-chani-ho.
Mecca-lecca-hi, make a chani ho. Mecca-lecca-hi, make a hiney ho.
It's working!
What about my head?
I'm sorry, Pee-wee. I said it would be dangerous.
Somebody's at the door. Maybe they can help. Johnny, you gotta do something about my head.
One head coming up.
Yes!
There you are!
It's me again.
Always keeps me at the edge of my seat.
Hey, everybody! I'm back!
Oh, what can I say? This show aged so well. It's still relevant in today's world. I can't think of anyone that doesn't like this show. There are a few people out there that you either love or hate Pee-wee, but for me, I love Pee-wee, and I got nothing bad to say about this show. I watch it every year, all the time, so that's all I can say. Great show, aged well, and thank you guys for watching. Find a seat right here on the couch if you want to join me next time. I will see you next time on this show. Bye.